We're going to get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the ever popular and exciting Operations Committee meeting. This evening we have Rob Kim, Art Levinowitz, Joan Ludwig, Deb Wheeler, Mark Sirota, Brenda Bray, and Bob Lester here. We will get started. Mr. Chmielewski is away right now. We don't have any presentations, so we're going to go right to the minutes. I don't know if anyone has had a chance to look at the minutes, but if you would look at the minutes from the last meeting and let Brooke know if you have any comments or questions or concerns, that would be helpful. I guess we'll go right to the first item under facilities, the Sandy Run Middle School update.
If I could take just a brief step backwards under communication, there's just something that, as a follow-up to Monday night's board meeting,
okay.
Which you didn't see because we just found out about this afternoon. Mr. Lester has some minor good news to share.
As part of the purchase of the new delivery truck, we asked Faulkner if they would take our existing delivery truck as a trade-in, and they agreed to take a look at it for us. We brought it down to their dealership today, and they got back to me right before the meeting. They're going to offer us $2,000 as a trade-in. I thought it was pretty good for the condition that it's in.
Wow, it's like a continuation of Monte Carlo night. Yay!
And we didn't have a formal piece to put underneath transportation tonight for operations, but I did want to let the committee know and the other guests that we are working on the lease for 275 New Jersey, and that's all I want to say about it at this point in time publicly. And shared services agreement with the school district, Springfield Township. Last week I met with the business administrator and the director of transportation. And so we're starting to look at what we might do for 17-18 in addition to the bulk purchase of diesel fuel for next year, and hope to bring that to April 20th Operations Committee meeting to discuss before it goes to the board. We also discussed the joint RFP for buses and additional joint training for software implementation. And
We always do a one-year lease for that bus garage.
We've done different things over the
Okay.
past, but and the terms of the lease are part of the ongoing negotiations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So now we are ready for the Sandy Run update. Okay. Good.
I spoke with Arif Razil for where we stand on the survey at Sandy Run. The survey plan is completed. And it did confirm where the floodplains lie, the 500-year floodplain. And as you remember his presentation a few months ago, he did some preliminary sketches of where they believe the lines fell and any possible usage for the property if we needed to do any additions or building where those lines would fall. The lines were confirmed, and any conceptual plans that were presented to this point are still feasible because of where all the floodplains lie. We are outside of that area. The survey also found some utilities that run through the property that we're not fully aware of. There's some drainage lines, rainwater lines that run from the neighborhood above through the property. And any type of construction, we would have to address those issues. But that's not anything that's unreasonable for a project like this. You would expect to find things that we'd need to relocate. And the team will begin meeting, at least Dewey Engineering and their team will begin meeting with us with some of the results that they're finding from the survey, and actually had the blueprints that they developed for the site plan.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Mark?
So when you say they'll begin meeting, is that a rescheduling of the meeting that was to have happened, was it Tuesday morning?
Yes.
Yeah, and so has that been rescheduled yet or no? I haven't heard anything.
I did not think that we'd attempt to reschedule it that we would wait until the next meeting on March 28th,
Oh, okay.
which is what is scheduled.
Okay.
Agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Partly that's selfish because I'll be at PASBO next Tuesday.
If that's what it has to be, that's what it has to be.
Okay. Thank you. Now we're ready for the pool maintenance program.
Okay, we've been working with Deep Run Aquatics to identify some of the needs that we have in the pool facility, overview of our operations. And They've come back with a proposal for a monthly maintenance plan, where they would come in, they would send their technician in monthly. They would provide oversight, look at the pool chemistry, make any recommendations to change anything that we have been doing, any different chemicals or the amounts of chemicals that we're using. They're also going to be looking at our UV system, our filtration system, making recommendations, annual preventive maintenance on those systems, such as the UV lamps would need to be changed annually, also sanitizing the filter for us annually. They would also continually train our staff. Also, anything they find, we would do a retraining based on their program first, and anytime they find something that we need to be retrained on or additional training, they would take care of that as well. They will also provide safety inspections on the equipment, anything around the filter room, chemicals, the labeling that we do, as well as the deck inspections, any anchor points, starting platforms, diving boards, ladders, and the surge tank lid. They would all inspect this, so we make sure that the pool is maintained safely. The total amount for the agreement would be $9,350 a year. Again, it would be a once-a-month visit.
So they would train our people. How many people do we have who work on the pool?
We have one dedicated certified pool operator who's in the room all the time. We do have one other employee in the facility who is certified pool operator. But we also have everybody else is trained to monitor the pool, what they have to do for the testing, for the pH, the chlorine levels. So everybody does have a familiarity, and it's something that we do every day. We test the chemicals on the weekends. Whoever's working Saturday or Sunday when the pool's in use, it will check several times during the day.
And as far as we know, only our people do that. Nobody else gets involved with tinkering with any of that.
No, just our people.
Okay, all right.
Does that dollar amount include, is that just labor? Does it include any of the consumables or regular maintenance items? Or
That is just labor at this time for the adjustments. Anything that they find, they would give us a proposal.
Okay.
Would you expect that this type of program would help us anticipate or prevent what happened this year with the equipment failure?
Yes, they're going to be monitoring flow rates through the system for us. And with the chemicals, over time during the year, the water system coming into the building can change. Anything that's being supplied through us through Ambler Water, any variations that could alter the effectiveness of our program that we have. So they'll be on top of that, and if they see something that's concerning to them, they'll be able to address it right away.
Good, all right, thank you. Anything else? No? Okay.
Have they been in our pool yet? Have they been to our pool?
Yes, they are familiar with our pool. They've been out. They recently.
Yeah, but I think you turned off the other. There's two speakers.
I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, when you reset it, I think something happened. Okay. Okay, so they've been to our pool.
Yes, they've recently performed service for us. We needed new UV lamps. They should be replaced once a year. And then we were finding some variations between what we're seeing on our pump controller and we actually take the chemical samples. So we decided it was time for new probes. They replaced the probes for us and recalibrated the system.
And then this would be a yearly agreement that we would renew?
Yes.
So there's an additional expenditure for the district?
Yes.
Are there any possibilities of any support from UDAC or anyone else?
We haven't looked into that.
Okay. No, I think all of those microphones on this side are.
They're all the same.
Yes, we had that problem before.
If it's a yearly agreement, would it be March to March, or if we?
To start this
Or
out as soon as
April to
possible,
April,
we're
I guess.
looking at a May start date, so it'd be May through April.
Okay. Are we comfortable with that, or would we rather do a short one and make it July to July, or it doesn't matter?
I guess it would be a finance question.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
We will not make any payments really until next year, so we'll accrue the appropriate amount back to this year and then have the rest of it in the next fiscal
Okay.
year, okay?
Okay, I think,
Yes, it would be a 12-month program. And one of the things we're looking at is we're getting people who are in different pools and different systems every day, and they'd be able to recognize something quicker than we would be able to.
I guess we're good with that. We'll move on to the administration outer building.
Okay?
We have one left.
One left.
The
Yes.
lone building.
This building in the back, this is the one it's open on one side. It's only closed 3 sides. The roof is in poor condition. I brought a contractor in just to get some ideas what we can do if the building was salvageable. It is salvageable. The roof would have to be taken off its entirety. The roof rafters are shot, but he suggested some quick fixes. And preliminary numbers, what we're looking at in the range. No hard numbers yet. To remove the roof and put a new trussed roof in its place, which would be much less expensive to do, the prefabricated trusses. They would just sit them in place. And to repair some of the walls that were having some cracks and close up the old windows that are no longer used. We're looking in the area of $70,000 to move ahead. It is a building that we could use for storage. A lot of our equipment does sit out. Right now, it's on
We're
the
not
Jersey
using it
Drive.
now at all.
No, right now the condition is too poor. We're afraid the roof will fall in under a heavy weight or a heavy windstorm. It is secured for entry, so there's nothing open to walk in and out. We do have gates across, but there is some older light poles in there, nothing valuable, just old salvaged equipment. Right now we have a lot of equipment that sits outside at New Jersey Drive. All of our trailers, the tractors that we're not using are all exposed to the weather. So it would be a nice building to have so we can keep some of our equipment better protected.
Is it likely to contribute to the value of the property when redone by having an additional building there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to that point, you may recall that we did take down a couple of outbuildings,
I remember.
the dog run and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
associated with the what its former purpose was. And we have to apply for permits to have it taken down or removed. And then those small dollar amounts, even though our property is exempt, did show up as a decrease in the value at the county level. So the answer is, you know, if we do something to improve it, we'll have to pull a permit from the township, and that will impact our assessed value, even though we're exempt.
Right.
Well, my impression is too, if we were to build, just straight build, you know, a building that would be comparable in size, it would be more than $70,000, I would think.
When you take, not sure if you were to get something like a post building, something prefabricated, but then you'd also
You still have to take this one
we
down.
still have to take this one down, and you'd also get into other issues. I spoke with the township today. If we were to build a building or decide to enclose this building totally, we would have to bring it up to certain code standards,
Right.
such as a garage. It would be sprinkler, fire alarm,
Yeah, yeah.
electric. Right now, there's no electric, no utilities to the building. If we left it as an open building on one side, it wouldn't meet any of those requirements.
Okay. Anyone else?
So I was over there today and took a look at the building. So the open side, which is really bizarre, that would remain
That would remain open. We'd have some type of secure gate across.
gate. Okay. Is there a driveway now, or would you need one?
We wouldn't need one.
Okay, 'cause sort of-
The ground's solid enough for the equipment that we take across. The building next to it, we park some equipment in. Also, we drive our trucks up to it,
Right.
pull the trailers inside without any issues.
Okay. Well, if they need it, it sounds like a good solution in terms of using that space. Yeah, for storage. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, we'd be able to free up some other space that does require enclosed storage that we have equipment in now. So something I can move forward, put more of a package together that we could put out for bids.
Okay.
Okay.
So hopefully maybe done this summer.
So summer might be a little aggressive.
Oh, okay.
We could probably have a package together by this summer, but I think it's a little late to be
I
trying to
think
go
I'm
out
at
to bid.
home doing the to-do list for my husband. Okay. Yeah.
I'd be afraid pricing wouldn't be that good if we were to work on something now for the summer. The pick of the contractors wouldn't be there at this time.
Okay.
But something that Bob and I can talk about too is because it's not impacting a school and there aren't students around, perhaps we could do this in the fall. I'm not sure what the schedule is, but maybe we can look at that when the contractors wouldn't be
Right.
booked as heavily.
Well, you knocked down the 4 other spaces. When did you do that? Is that done during the year? I thought it was.
Yeah, that.
I thought it was
lots-
done just
It,
Saturdays?
yes.
Yeah.
Right, because.
but it was during an academic year. It wasn't done during the summertime.
Yeah. Okay. If there's nothing else on that, we have nothing on transportation. Is that correct? Other than what you told
Other
us?
than my informal comments, correct.
Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're up to community input. If there's any member of the community who wants to get up to address the committee, you can come up to the microphone, state your name and where you live, and you have 4 minutes to address us.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. My name is Buff Keeler. I'm the president and coach of Upper Dublin Aquatic Club, and I wanted to commend you for getting ahead of this with the pool maintenance issue, with bringing in this outside consulting firm or engineering firm to provide the preventive maintenance and analysis on a ongoing basis. I think that's very smart. And the question that I would have, or that I have as a follow-on to that, is would it be out of line for me, on behalf of UDAC, to request that as part of their analysis they have an open dialogue with members of our staff? We have folks that are there 5+ hours a day, 6 days a week, 11 months out of the year, and I think they could be an invaluable resource and help add value to this maintenance agreement that we're looking into. More than anybody else, these guys have their fingers on the pulse of the natatorium, and I would encourage you to at least express, an interest to I guess it's Deepwater Aquatics, to enlist our folks, enlist their expertise, and they are willing and able and to help them out in any way they can. And to address Dr. Levunitz's question regarding if UDAC would be willing to assist, I am amenable to that idea. I can't make that call unilaterally, but I will bring that back to our board and make the recommendation that we help out with defraying some of the cost of this maintenance agreement. And assuming we get buy-off from everybody on the board, then I suppose it'll just be a sit-down with Bob and Brenda and any other stakeholders on the school district side. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other community members?
Looks like Stan's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
But then, yeah, certainly.
Hi, Stan Robsky, Maple Glen. That's a good point.
Stan, right into the mic.
That was a good point what Ron said, that maybe perhaps this consultant address UDAG or whatever, it's the swimming club. That's a good idea. Is there like did this consultant have any references from neighboring pools? And it works out to be, for 12 meetings, 12 visits, comes out to $780 a month. Is that, is he going to be there 1 hour, half hour, 4 hours? So I was just thinking that on the renovation of that building, how many square foot is that building? And you're saying it's open on one side. Is it tall enough to put a vehicle in there? I get that it'd be good for storage, but it's still open to the elements. I'm not sure. I know what you can store in there, dry goods and stuff and some equipment. But, $70,000 for a new roof and trusses seems like a lot of money, unless it's a large building. Where is this building located? Is it over at the administration area right there? Okay. So it was just, I wanted to see what the square footage of that building was. And then perhaps you could, $70,000, perhaps you can budget 35,000 this year and then 35,000 next year. That's what we did at the township whenever there's a capital improvement like that. Sometimes we split it up, therefore it's not as big as an impact on the budget. Okay, that was all. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Are there any other community comments? I don't see anyone else. Okay, we'll close.
May I?
We'll close community input. Go ahead, Dr. Wheeler.
I just wanted to take a moment to thank our facilities, grounds, and maintenance crews for the work in cleaning up after the storm that was more icy than snowy. That was a phenomenal job, and it allowed us to open school yesterday. 2-hour delay was necessary, but we got school open. So thank you, and if you would please share that with all of the members of your crews.
I will, thank you.
I guess we should then go ahead and try to address some of the questions here. Do you want to talk about the possibilities of discussion with members of UDAC?
I think discussion input from UDAC would be very helpful. These are people that are in the pool all the time. We can know if there's anything that is affecting the swimmers. Are they having any irritations, temperature issues? It would all be good feedback that we could to go on. It may lead them to look in a different direction that maybe they wouldn't be looking at during a normal routine visit. So that is something we can find out. The days that they will be out, see if we can schedule somebody to come out and meet with them as well,
Right.
or even providing a list.
At least have a point of contact who could filter that information to them and then get responses back.
Correct, yes. I think their input would be very helpful, especially the users of the equipment more so than some of our staff would be able to see.
Okay.
I'm curious whether, because I don't really understand what exactly the nature of the training provided by Deepwater Aquatics would be, but I wonder if it would be more appropriate or as appropriate to train some of their staff as it is to train our staff. Obviously not in, maintenance of the infrastructure, but if there's something about how inspections are done or what to watch out for or something.
We would need to be careful because the
yes.
certified pool person is part of the bargaining unit. So
Right.
We'll share information, but we'll need to walk a fine line.
All right.
Right. Okay, and as to the questions Mr. Ropsky had, maybe we could address some of those. Were there any references for Deepwater Aquatics? Do we know?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we don't have it on the website. They are a large company, handle large pools. We know different colleges. I can get a list together of the actual school names, but we
It's
do.
probably a good idea.
Yeah, we can get that for you. But they do have quite a bit of experience. They have training in our systems. The reps that we've been working with have been going to school, our filter system and chemical systems, Neptune and Benson. One of the reasons I didn't get the proposal that I was expecting is they were doing retraining of their own staff. Some of the people had gone out to Neptune Benson factory for factory training. So they are very familiar. Our UV system, Siemens, they are certified to work on the Siemens UV system. So they are very familiar with our equipment. And also with the time spent, it's going to be, the time that they're spending is going to be varying on the task. That the days that they had the preventive maintenance, they could be spending 1-2 days on preventive maintenance, UV system, filter system. Other trips, they would probably be there the better part of the day doing a safety inspection. It wouldn't be a quick 1 hour in, out. It would be quite comprehensive. They would also be helping us plan if things are finding we could be putting into our maintenance that we would be doing on the pool over the summers.
And I don't know about splitting the cost between 2 fiscal years. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah. I assume it would come out of capital projects anyway, right?
Right.
No? Too small?
For an ongoing maintenance agreement, something that has to do with operations.
Oh, no, I was
wouldn't
thinking the outbuilding.
Oh, the outbuilding,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I skipped. I completely, sorry.
Right,
Thank
that's
you
what
for
the-
that.
That's what the splitting
Stream
across.
of consciousness reading
budget
and
was
not
about.
speaking of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And if we're jumping to that, yes, that would come out of the capital projects, most assuredly.
Yeah. So back to the administration, the building that we're talking about redoing. Now that do we have a square footage?
Not exact square footage. It's roughly 2,500 square feet. I can double check the exact measurements on that. Roughly, it's close to 120 foot, maybe a little over 20 foot, 24 foot wide.
Let me ask a question. If we don't do anything with this building, is it dangerous in any way?
We'll have
Is
to take, if we let it sit for too much longer, it will have to come down.
Right.
Right now, it has a cedar roof. A good portion of the roof has rotted off. It is exposed to rainwater. The snow is falling through. And the longer you let it sit, the more it's going to deteriorate into the block walls. And if the roof falls, there is a
Right.
chance that it could push out one of the walls, and then it would not be worth replacing.
Okay. Did you have any comments?
Did-
Sorry.
Did you say earlier, or do you know what it would cost to take it down?
No, I have not looked in it. I'm not sure if there would be any abatement costs, any studies that we would have to do. Have to talk with the township on that, what permits would be required.
And what kind of things would you store in it?
We have trailers that we always need a place to. We have some larger tractors, mostly used for snow removal, that we just need cover. Right now, they're just sitting out in the rain, exposed to the elements on New Jersey Drive.
So, are we okay with passing this forward to the board?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. Lost my. So, I guess then we don't have any other comments or questions. I guess we can, if everyone's in agreement, we can adjourn.
Yes.
Okay. We hereby are adjourned. Next Operations Committee meeting is Thursday, April 20th, 6 p.m. in this room. Thank you very much.